Dr. Anthony Fauci, Chief Medical Advisor to President Biden. Dr. Fauci, thanks for joining us again. Let's start with COVID and kids in this Delta variant. Is this Delta variant more likely to make kids sicker than the previous variants?
Well, the evidence of this particular virus transmitting more readily is unquestionable about that. What is less clear is whether or not it actually makes individuals more seriously ill. There have been a number of studies that have not been overwhelmingly impressive in the data, but they are suggestive that, for example, a study from Canada looked at the increase in hospitalizations among people in general, including children, and it seemed to suggest that it was a bit more serious. But the data on that, George, isn't as really firm as the data on how much more transmissible it is.
And now we're starting to hear about this Delta Plus variant as well. What's the difference between that and the Delta variant, and how concerned are you about it?
Well, it's just an additional mutation that occurs at the point of the virus that binds to the receptor in your nasopharynx and in your lungs, which might make it more likely to bind and hence be more transmissible. But that's soft, George. It doesn't really give you a lot of firm evidence that this is any worse or any better. The thing that's important is that the Delta variant that we're dealing with is so capable of pushing out other variants that we're not expecting that to take over. Having said that, we follow it very closely.
But are we facing this continuous cycle where we just see new variants always popping up that evade the vaccines?
You know, that will happen, George, if we don't get good control over the community spread, which is the reason why I and my colleagues keep saying over and over again, it is very important to get as many people vaccinated as we possibly can. People who say, I don't want to get vaccinated because it's me and I'll worry about me, I'm not having any impact on anybody else. That's just not the case. Because when people don't get vaccinated, it allows the virus to circulate through the community. And when it does, even if it doesn't make a particular individual ill, they may be asymptomatic, that person is still a vehicle for the spread to other people. And as long as the virus continues to spread, you give it ample opportunity to mutate. And when you give it ample opportunity to mutate, you may sooner or later get another variant. And it is possible that that variant might be in some respects worse than the already very difficult variant we're dealing with now, which is a major reason why you want to completely suppress the circulation of the virus in the community.
Finally, sir, what do you make of this new study that shows that people who receive a flu shot may be less likely to get COVID?
You know, I think we better be careful and really take a look at that. It could be the nonspecific juicing up of the immune system. That's one of the things that you always think about when you give a vaccine that isn't directly related to the disease you're trying to suppress. You may get this broad nonspecific enhancement, but I'd be careful about that. The data on that are not strong, George.